It's Sunday, the 17th of January 2016. This is a chart of the US dollar gold price. Obviously, it's been a pretty rough time for the gold price in the last 3 months in particular. We tested these new lows around 1040. Just in the last week or so, seen a bit of an important break of this 1080 level. You can see in most of December, this 1080 had acted as a bit of a resistance level. You can see these tails here all around 1080. Then it finally got on a bit of a run with some of the share market weaknesses around the world, and it's pulled back, broke back below 1080, but then on Friday had a bit of a bounce above it as well. So I'm thinking that level is going to hold, and that's an important move if it's going to go higher. I've got a couple of these ranges in here. You can see here that these sort of moves on the downside, similar to what we had again this time. So it's that $150 sort of down move, and obviously the up moves have been pretty muted in comparison. So potentially we could see a move back up toward this sort of, I guess it's a midpoint line of this range. Each time we've seen the down moves, and it's struggled to get above this midpoint line as well. Back in last January, obviously we did pretty well and got back up to the top of it. So this 1280 sort of range up there, and so I'm hoping if we can get up and test this midpoint line, and then a move up higher. But that's a while off yet. The other thing I've got on this chart is I've actually got the Australian dollar gold price as well. So you can see here, obviously, the correlation broke down around late 2014. Up until then, every move down in the US dollar gold price tended to be matched by the Australian dollar. So that gap stayed pretty constant through here. And then obviously had this massive divergence here in late 2014 with the US dollar strength and Australian dollar weakness. So that looks like that trend could continue. Now, I thought it was sort of starting to, the Australian dollar was starting to have a bit of strength despite the gold, and the gold price was staying down as well, which is not a great scenario. But just in the last week or so, you've seen this massive move in Australian dollar gold terms. The exchange rate went down to 68.5 cents on Friday night Australian time. So, big move up here. This looks like a bit of a flag formation here, and potential for another leg higher, I think, and testing back up about the 1650 level. And it could happen pretty quickly because the currency's broken to a new 5-year low. So entirely possible that it keeps going down in the next week or so. This currency could easily lose a couple more cents, and the gold price looks ready for a bit of at least a move up toward 1150 in the medium term, I reckon. So I'm looking for a bit of a move in the Australian dollar gold price, and that'll help the Australian producers.